Now, the most obvious way of using the articles would be for blogging content. So you could literally just take the article, copy it, and then paste it into your blog, and you'd be done. I mentioned earlier the importance of creating custom content. So maybe you split up the article. So if I open up that first one here, where is it? 4 techniques for handling negative emotions. If I wanted to turn this into a blog post, so let's do it. We go over here to our blogging tool. This is WordPress. Hopefully most of you use WordPress, but any blogging tool you use will look something like this. So I would actually create a new blog post. I could grab the title verbatim and might want to change it. Let's grab it like this for now. Paste it in. 4 techniques for handling. Let's just say 4 ways to deal with. Simpler language, and then it's unique. It's not exactly what the PLR stated. And then we grab the remainder of the document and we paste that into our WordPress editor. It looks like it's brought over some extra formatting here. So I would go through and kind of work on the formatting. But then I would also think to myself, is this exactly what I want to say? Maybe, but I'm going to read through this article. And when I get to certain sections, I might want to expand on it. So for example, here, 3 ways that you have used to move on to one technique you should be using. Okay, so we're talking about avoiding the emotion here, pretending the emotion is not there, becoming the emotion. You can see how these are different ways that we handle it. So I might want to, right here, maybe in bold, have a little placeholder for myself. Add story about the time where XYZ happened. And then here, so this is a blog post that's currently just in draft mode, right? Because I'm allowing myself time to think and create. Insert YouTube video about denying emotion. I can't type today, but you guys get the idea. Becoming the emotion. So this would be another note to myself. Justin, insert an image from Unsplash. Right. So at the end of the day, I've got a blog post, but it's super unique. It goes a bit deeper. It gives my readers something that will help them relate to me, my personal stories, some of my own examples. But it won't take me all that long. Like producing a blog post like this, I'd way rather do it from PLR than just going like this and go, okay, I've got to write about emotions or 4 ways of dealing with negative emotion. Let me go. It's super hard to do, right? So that's why you'd want to use a piece of PLR like this. Now, having said that, it's not just for blogging. You could use it for email broadcasts. Quite honestly, one of the biggest jobs for me, my role in my company, is email marketing. We send emails out almost every single day, and I have a personal philosophy that I don't want them to be junk. I want the person reading the email to not have their time wasted. Sometimes it's short, sometimes it's longer. Usually there's some kind of, a plan there for me to sell something, because I do run a business. Sometimes it's subtle, sometimes it's direct, asking people to take a look at an offer. And there's a giant mixture of things that I do in my email marketing on a daily basis. But it's certainly not easy, and it's very time consuming. I want my emails to reflect well on the company. And so having some inspiration, like a PLR article to help me come up with ideas or certain things that I want to say, or a quick lesson that I want to share that maybe I knew the lesson, but I just forgot it. And simply by reading this PLR article, it reminded me about this thing here, whatever. I picked a bad article because this isn't really something I would talk about too often. But you get the idea. It can maybe help you draw the inspiration to produce the end result of what you're trying to do. So maybe my email broadcast for the day is about handling negative emotion. And I really want to focus on learning lessons from your emotions in the past. So I'm going to grab this from the PLR so that I can add that into my email broadcast over here for people that want to read the full lesson about it, right? So, my lesson to you. And then this would be the lesson right inside the email broadcast. And then I have a much more in-depth email broadcast ready to go. I talked about it being a starter for a blog post and the blog itself, so we can move on. Extracting key lessons. Okay, I kind of just touched on that. Let me open another article because I don't like this one. I like fear. That's a good topic. I often use PLR articles just for idea extraction. I talked about this earlier with ebooks being your outline for Kindle books or for self-published books. It can also just be general lesson extraction for things that you want to teach. So on another webinar, I talk about creating personal branding videos. Again, I'll keep coming back to the importance of you having lots and lots of content out there with your voice, your videos, your audios, things where people can actually hear you speaking. I'm doing a webinar right now. You're building a connection with me. Maybe you like it, maybe you don't. For those of you that do like it, it's probably going to help me in the long run, keep you on our list and so on, right? So if I wanted to create a video on the fly today for my personal development coaching business, if I have that, then I might just want to talk about the 5 main points from this article. Dealing with fear, document it, enjoy it, ignore it, confront it, banish it. And I can talk about my own examples of how I've done each one of those. I use nothing else from the article other than the header of that section of the article to guide my thinking. And I could record the video just by speaking to it. I can take maybe one little point out of this. So document the fear. And I go over here to a slide presentation. So I was showing this one earlier. I'm going to make a video presentation where I'm going to teach about fear. And all I'm going to do is talk about the 5 things. And the slide is simply just going to have the key point on the slide while I speak. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is documenting the fear. The second thing I'm going to talk about is, what does the article say? Enjoying the fear. It's really about embracing it. So I'm going to paste that in to this guy. It did not preserve the sizing. There we go. And then within about 5 minutes of copying, pasting, not even 3 minutes, copying, pasting those headers from the article, maybe I'd probably add some Unsplash images here. So, let's do it for fun here on the fly. These don't really represent fear per se, but let's do it. Actually, that egg looks scared there. Let's grab that. And we're going to put that image in here. It's not pasting in. Okay, I'm not going to do it. Imagine there's an image right here. Okay, this blue box is an image of those eggs. Isn't that amazing the way that happens? And then I just start presenting it. I turn on my slides and I record my voice over it. So the first thing you want to do when you experience a fear is document it. Write it down. Think about all the different ways this fear impacts your life, why it might be coming up, how it's impacted you in the past. Next, enjoy the fear. I'm really talking about embracing it. Understand that it's going to exist anyways and blah, 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 right? So I'm just speaking off the top of my head. I would probably think for 5 or 10 minutes what I want to say over these slides, but then I would just go into straight up record mode. And at the end of this, I would have extracted 5 lessons that I can now record into a personally branded video. If I don't want to do it on video, I can do it on audio. If I don't want to do either of those, where is my thing? Then maybe I'm just extracting the key lessons into like simple graphics that I share, or it could be just 5 bullet points that I'm putting out in my email message for today. Try these 5 things next time you want to deal with fear. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So there's no limit to how you use those ideas. That's kind of the same. These 2 points are basically what I just talked about. Another thing is image articles. I don't see people doing this enough, but it's similar to before where I was talking about using Unsplash. And all you're doing is taking the article, and instead of just taking this and publishing it as is, you are mixing and matching the text with visually enhanced graphics. So that's where you'd come over to our Unsplash resource. I don't want to do it because it's not working well here, but let's see. If you use tfm.news/Unsplash, then you can come through our collection here. And somewhere in here, I know for sure, Ted has a collection of images about overcoming fear, facing fear. I'm not seeing it off the top. Anyway, perseverance is kind of close to fear. That guy looks scared. So, right, so you could grab this image, pop it into one part of the article, do the same thing here and there, add a little footer, and then before you know it, you've taken an article and you've changed it into really something you could publish as a report. It's the exact same information. It's just presented a little differently. You're calling it a report. you're saving it as a PDF, and now instead of it being a blog post, it's something they have to download, different perceived quality, different perceived value, and it allows you to mix up your content marketing. Another one is a contextual opt-in. So what you could do is, let's say you've spent the time beefing up this one article. You didn't add any more text to it. Maybe you have like an opening and a closing, but then all you've done was added some images just to make it look nice. It's a short 3-page report. And then what you could do is have a blog post about fear, which is right here, or 4 ways to deal with negative emotion. It teaches them about negative emotions in general. And then you can say at the end of this blog post, you could say, are negative emotions holding you back? Sign up below for my free report about dealing with the most common negative emotion, blah, 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 fear, okay? And then I would have a name, email. We would link this to our autoresponder, and then we just simply deliver this report with all those fancy upgrades we made to it as a contextual opt-in, right? So let's go to the blog post here. The reading the blog, ways to deal with negative emotion. This is really good information. I'm really getting value from this. That video that Justin put right here about denying emotion, that was super, that really connected with where I'm in my life. This part's cool. Oh, he's got a report on dealing with fear. Yeah, I'm totally going to sign up for that. But the opt-in is in the context of this blog post. It's not your general opt-in like on your sidebar, or that pops up when people visit your website, which might be like, hey, here's my 3 tips to whatever. It's a specific opt-in for people that are interested in this specific topic, and you're capturing people that want to learn more about this. It's another way of getting people on your list, but it's also a way of segmenting those people. If you start doing list segmentation, where you're sending specific offers to people with specific interests, that's where your email marketing can get really powerful. So for example, at Tools for Motivation, when you buy a product from us, when you buy Emotional Mastery, we tag you with this product name. And if you buy another product that's maybe about success mindset, we start knowing more and more about you based on the tags and the behavior. We can start creating email campaigns based on that behavior. You could have 3, 4, 5 more blog posts with specific talk tracks that cater to different people in your market with a different opt-in. Because this opt-in here about dealing with fear may draw zero interest from a certain type of person, but another one about dealing with anger would. So you could have blog posts that talk about the topic and then have an extending lead magnet that's within the context of that blog post. Super powerful way of doing your list building. And then these articles, obviously, you could turn them into audio, turn them into video. And what we do, again, with Tools for Motivation is that is also an extension we do for you in certain products. So the Emotional Mastery product, as an example, has article audio, every single one of those articles narrated, article slides, where we've put them into slide decks that look like so, that allow us to teach in these videos that you see here. And they're